Good morning students. I hope you all are doing great. Today I am here with the most interesting lesson of English grammar, and that is adjectives and degrees of comparison. In our previous video we discussed meaning and kinds of adjectives, and today we will discuss correct uses of some adjectives. As you know, an adjective can add color and life to a sentence. It can add more information also, but that's not all. Adjectives have many other uses, like they can help us to compare things, they can tell the quality and quantity of things. So it is very important to learn how to use them correctly. So in today's video, we will learn about correct uses of some adjectives. Adjectives often sound similar and mean similar things, but are used differently in English. So students, today we will talk about correct uses of some adjectives like much, many, few, a few, the few, little, a little, the little, some, any, etc. So let's take a look at some pairs of the trickiest adjectives with the examples and explanation. So students, first we will discuss when to use many and when to use much. As we know, these are the adjectives of quantity. Whenever you say these words, automatically quantity or the number or something just related to quantity or number comes to your mind. Much and many are mainly used in negative sentences and in questions. So students, first we will discuss about many. Many is used for countable nouns, a noun that can be counted as a whole. Examples: many apples, many shirts, many people, etc. So we can say that many is used with plural forms of countable nouns. It indicates a large number of something that we can count. Examples: I don't have many friends. There are many restaurants around my house. Now we will discuss when to use much. Much is absolutely opposite of many. Much is used for nouns that cannot be counted. For example, coffee, rice, water, juice, etc. So we can say that much is used to indicate a large quantity of uncountable nouns. Examples: there is much pudding left in the serving dish. I don't have much knowledge of computers. Remember, in interrogative sentences, much and many are used with how to ask questions. Examples: how many students have attended the art and craft workshop? How much time do you need to complete this project? Now we will talk about some and any. Let's start with some. Some means an unspecified amount or quantity. It is used in positive or affirmative sentences. It is also used when some offer or request is made and whose answer is expected to be positive or yes. Look at the given examples. I have some friends. Will you have some ice cream? Students, have you noticed we can use some for both countable and uncountable nouns when we want to describe an unspecified amount of that noun. We can use some in both interrogative and in affirmative sentences. However, we do not use some for negative sentences. Any is used with both interrogative and negative sentences. Examples: is there any girl in the class? I don't want any coffee. Students, remember that any can be used in affirmative sentences also, when it is used after if or after hardly, barely, scarcely. Examples: if you need any money, I will help you. There is hardly any cold drink left in the glass. Okay students, now we will discuss the difference between little, a little and the little. Let's start with little and a little. While both few and a few are used with countable nouns like chairs, dogs, pens, trees, boys, etc., little and a little are used for uncountable nouns like salt, milk, happiness, etc. So, Little and a little both are used for uncountable nouns and capture a small amount. But the difference is in what the speaker is trying to say. A little means a small amount, used in neutral sense. For example, I will need a little honey in my dish since it is too spicy for me. Here, a little honey means a small amount of honey. We use a little with singular uncountable nouns. Now, little also means small amount, but is used to convey a negative connotation. That is when the intended meaning is not much or not enough. For example, this dish needs little honey since it is already quite sweet. Here, little honey means not much. Now let's consider the following conversation between Diya and Akash. Diya says, I know it's the end of the month, but I would love to eat out tonight. And Akash replies, let's go. I have a little money with me. In the second scenario, Diya again says, I know it's the end of the month, but I would love to eat out tonight. And this time Akash replies, we can't. I have little money with me. In the first scenario, Akash uses a little because his answer is positive. He is willing to go out as he has some money. But in second scenario, Akash uses little to indicate a negative answer because he has not enough money. Now let's look at the little. The little means not much, but all there is. It indicates whole, though very little. For example, the little that I know her, she would definitely return your call. This means that I don't know her very well, but from what I know about her is, she would definitely return your call. Now we will discuss the difference between few, a few and the few. Let's start with the difference between a few and few. Two expressions that are sometimes interchangeably used to mean some. While they are indeed both used to refer a small number of items or things or people, that is a small number of countable nouns. They conveyed by different meanings, and now we will discuss how to use them correctly. Let's take a few first. As I said, this means some or a small number. For example, I bought a few bananas for breakfast, which means I got some bananas for breakfast. Another example, a few friends are coming over to the study group. Again, the meaning is a small number of friends. Few, on the other hand, is used when the intended meaning is not many or hardly any. That is, the speaker wants to send out a negative connotation. It still means a small number, but the usage is negative. For example, consider the following conversation. A says, hey, can you share with me some flyers for the rally? I lost mine. B replies, sure, I have a few extra somewhere. Now, compare this to another conversation where A says, can you share with me some flyers for the rally? I lost mine. And now B says, sorry mate, I have few myself. In the first instance, B agrees to share the flyers since he has some extra, and a few indicates this positive answer. In the second instance, however, B refuses to share since he has hardly any flyers himself. Thus, few is used for negative answer. Let's look at another example. Most of the homework lessons were tough, but there were a few I could understand. Versus, most of the homework lessons were tough and I could understand few. Again, the first statement says that while most of the lessons were tough, there were some I could understand. And the second statement on the other hand says the exact opposite. Since most of the homework lessons were tough and I could understand few, hardly any of them. Now Let's see how the few is used. The few refers to not many but whatever there is. For example, the few times I met him, he seemed like a friendly person. This means that I did not meet the person many times, but whenever I did, he seemed to me like a friendly person. Now we will discuss the difference between nearest and next. Nearest is the superlative form of near. It means the closest or shortest distance. Nearest can be used when something is in front of, behind, above, below, or next to something else. Position of the object doesn't matter. Example, my house is the nearest to the market. Some more examples. Feeling very sick, she took a taxi to the nearest hospital. The nearest railway station is 2 kilometers away. Next. Next denotes order or position. Example, he sat next to me in the meeting. Some more examples. My house is next to the park. The washroom is next to the balcony. We will discuss the uses of later, latter, latest and last. We use later when referring to time, and latest means most recent or the newest one. So we can say that later and latest are used to refer the time. Examples, she may join us later. What is the latest news? Next is later and last. Later is used to refer the second of two persons or things that have been mentioned. Later and last denote position. We can also say that later is in antithesis of former. For example, the later part of the movie was my favorite. Means the part of the movie closer to the end was my favorite. Whereas last is fairly easy to understand, as last is the opposite of first. Example, Rohan is sitting in the last row. Now we will discuss the uses of older and oldest. We use older and oldest as the regular comparative and superlative forms to describe people and things. For example, Seema is older than Jyoti. This is the oldest tree of the village. Some more examples. My car is older than yours. He is the oldest man alive. Next is elder and eldest. Elder and eldest are used with close family relations like brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, and so on. We use elder when we speak about two family members, such as brothers, sisters, cousins, etc. And we use eldest when we speak about three or more family members. Examples, Ravi's elder brother is a doctor. Her eldest sister lives in Bangalore. Students, remember, we never use elder eldest as a comparative followed by then. For example, if I say Surbhi is older than Riddhi, that is correct. But if I say Surbhi is elder than Riddhi, that is wrong. It could be Surbhi is elder to Riddhi. We only use elder eldest to talk about people, never to talk about things. Now we will discuss the uses of as and so as. As is usually used with positive statements. It indicates that things or people are equal in some way. But sometimes it can be used in negative statements also. Examples, Nisha is as kind as her mother. He is not as intelligent as his brother. So as. So as is used with negative statements. Examples, Rohan is not so active as you think. I am not so tall as the horse. So we can say that when we compare different things, we use so as. Students, that's all for today. I hope you understood the topic. See you in the next session. Stay at home. Keep yourself safe. Take care and happy learning.